There's so much to talk about with this story, and that's why we need to bring in David Susi, a former FAA safety inspector and accident investigator. David, could this guy have crashed this airplane? Could he have done something that the pilots wouldn't have known about until it was too late?
Oh, almost definitely. The pitot tube is something that's been tied to many aircraft. We talk about the 737 MAX 8. If you recall, that pitot tube was the indicating problem, or the angle of attack indicator combined with the pitot tube is what caused the problem with the MAX 8. And the Air France accident as well, that was a pitot tube issue. It most definitely could have caused a crash and loss of life.
Wow, in your long experience with air accidents, has this ever happened before? An airline mechanic intentionally tampering with something to disrupt or damage the flight?
It actually has happened before, but what it was at that time was to keep it on the ground where it wouldn't even pass the checklist to get out onto the runway. This is much different. This is a flight control system that I'm not aware of this ever happening before.
Wow, do you see a need for airlines then to make changes to try to ensure something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, I'm surprised in listening to what the previous report had said, that he was fired from another airline for mechanical problems. You know, you'd think that they'd be a little more careful about who they hire and why they hire them. The background checks need to be increased to make sure that these people are mentally stable, that they don't have any kind of issues. Although they do that with the pilots, but with the mechanics, they're not so diligent about making sure that that happens.
Oh, that's interesting. I also wonder, what more they can do, given planes need the hands-on work. A mechanic can't have someone watching over his or her shoulder every minute, can he?
Well, they do. Actually, this is what they call an RII, or a double inspection. It takes two sets of eyes to return an aircraft to service. So had he been working on this pitot tube and then put it back into service, a second set of eyes would have had to look at it, make sure he did it in line. So that system works. What it isn't designed for is to catch somebody who's working outside of the box like this guy did.
Oh, so are you saying you think that there were two people and that somehow he came back and did work on it without anybody else knowing?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that we don't know if it's been worked on before or not, if they were actually working on the pitot system or not. If they were, then they would take a second set of eyes to return it to service. But in this case, I don't even know that they were working on the pitot tube. I think he took this on his own to say, hey, I can put something in there, the airspeed indicator won't work, and therefore it won't fly and no one will get hurt. But that's not the case. This most definitely could have caused a loss of life.
Wow, an incredible story. Thank goodness it ended the way it did. David Susi, thank you. Good to see you.